adventure is concluded, gentlemen, we will taste the joys of victory or the bitterness of defeat. Many will die in the days that lie ahead, but those who survive will one day return to their homeland, rich in wisdom and gold, exonerated by His Majesty, and forever secure in the knowledge that they have participated in the opening of a new world.
Tonight's film on BBC One is The Day of the Jackal, Fred Zinnemann's pacey adaptation of the Frederick Forsyth thriller about a top-notch effort to assassinate President de Gaulle. Edward Fox leads a star-studded cast at 8 o'clock.
This isn't real. You know what it is? It's St. Elmo's fire.
Take one.
Action.
In 45 minutes here on to the Vienna State Opera, with Claudio Abbado conducting the Vienna Philharmonic, presents an epic new production of Kovanshchina, Mussorgsky's 5-act opera, completed by Stravinsky in its final act. The curtain rises at 7:20. And that's after a look at the week's news with subtitles in NewsView, with Maura Stewart and Lisa Davidson.
Good evening. Tonight's headlines. The European summit has ended with harmony between the 12 over reforms in Eastern Europe. But Mrs. Thatcher stood alone against the other 11 on matters within the European community. The East German Communist Party has appointed a new leader after talks that lasted through the night.
And the week's main news, the superpower summit off Malta went ahead despite storms and ended in harmony. Communist leaders in East Germany and Czechoslovakia were swept away by the demands for reform. And Britain's top pop stars got together for a Christmas recording to fight famine in Ethiopia.
The European Community Summit in Strasbourg has ended. Britain was the only country to oppose a charter on workers' rights. Mrs. Thatcher also voted against a special conference to discuss European monetary union. But the 12 member states were united in welcoming reform in Eastern Europe. A joint statement gave limited support to German reunification and pledged money for a development bank to help new Eastern Bloc democracies.
At the end of the summit, Mrs. Thatcher emerged to give her view of the debate on monetary union. She was deeply sceptical that the special conference called by the summit will ever accept Jacques Delors' plan for a single European currency. John Simpson put it to her that even so, the summit would be seen as a milestone.
I doubt it. I doubt it. That there is an intergovernmental conference called, but not for a year, and it may take years. And I wouldn't be certain that I'm very far from certain that the majority of people, when they actually look at what is called stage 2 and stage 3, according to the Delors plan, very surprised if they accept it as it is.
That sounds like it's going to be possible to delay this sort of thing more or less indefinitely, is that what you mean?
Look, it's not what I'm saying. They have not agreed to the calling of it until the end of next year, after the German elections.
President Mitterrand was much more upbeat. He believes this summit has made a historic agreement, and he reckoned that Mrs. Thatcher would come round to his point of view.
I hope that Britain, which has so much practical sense, will take part in the application of the agreement, despite its opposition in principle.
Earlier in the day, President Mitterrand had invited Chancellor Kohl to breakfast. The two men have had several misunderstandings this week, not helped by their lack of a common language. Over the...
It's hurricane-proof too. Sounds like a great HQ you've got.